It is Monday, November 16. Welcome to CGN News. Police Commissioner for Trinidad, Gary Griffith, has ordered that a police officer be issued with a ticket for breaching the Public Health Ordinance regulations. The unidentified officer, who was on duty in the capital on Friday with other officers, was seen not wearing a mask. Griffith said that he had also asked for a report as to why the police officer was brandishing a sophisticated weapon in public without the police insignia on his clothing. He was hit with a fine of 1,000 TT dollars. The Jamaican government is looking to strengthen the use of mediation and restorative justice to settle some cases without going to court. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says that work is underway to draft the Mediation Act and update the Restorative Justice Act. Chuck said that the increased use of alternative dispute resolution will help to reduce the backlog of cases before the courts. Restorative justice works through a facilitator using techniques intended to mend relationships and achieve conflict resolution for the victim and offender. The Trump administration Friday recognized the result of the November 5 general election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo sent a congratulatory message to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Prime Minister Gonzalez. But since the November 3 presidential election, Trump has yet to concede the election loss to Biden. Pompeo has also refused to recognize Biden's triumph, saying that there would be, quote, a smooth transition to a second Trump administration, end quote. Hurricane Iota has strengthened into a Category 4 storm as it moves towards Nicaragua. It is forecast to come ashore Monday evening, making it the second deadly storm in as many weeks to hit the Central American country. Iota is the 30th named storm of the record-breaking 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Hurricane Eta last week wreaked havoc in Central America and Mexico before crossing Cuba and Florida. The National Hurricane Center says Iota has the potential to bring catastrophic winds and extreme rainfall to Central America. Royal Caribbean is currently looking into arranging trial cruise voyages to convince regulators it can run successful COVID-era trips. The company has created a Volunteer of the Sea sign-up form for interested cruisers to apply to participate on future mock voyages. A Facebook group dedicated to updates on the mock cruises was created last Wednesday night, and more than 10,000 people had joined by midday the next day. No timeline has been set up for the simulated cruises. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently lifted its ban on cruise ships operating in U.S. waters. The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, has recommended that international travelers should not be quarantined nor be subjected to sampling and isolation in destination countries. PAHO cited the need to restore consumer confidence to reactivate economies shattered by the pandemic. Additionally, PAHO said that body temperature screening, travelers completing forms focused on symptoms, and COVID-19 related testing are not warranted. The recommendations are contained in a document developed by the Pan American Sanitary Bureau. The document, released last Monday, summarizes considerations for the decision-making process for resuming non-essential international travel in the context of the pandemic. Manuel Merino became Peru's president on Tuesday after Congress voted to oust President Martin Vizcarra. Merino, who was head of Congress, took his place on Tuesday and faced immediate opposition. He promised that voters could make their voices heard during April's presidential election. But the unrest continued, coming to a head on Saturday when 2 protesters were killed by police. By Sunday, most of the cabinet had resigned and Congress asked Merino to step down. Congress held an emergency session Sunday and is expected to replace Merino. The next president will be the country's 5th in 5 years. 4 astronauts, 3 from the U.S. and 1 from Japan, have launched Sunday from Florida on a mission to the International Space Station ISS. The crew rode to orbit in a rocket and capsule provided by the SpaceX company. The U.S. space agency NASA has said it is now entering a new era in which routine astronaut journeys to low Earth orbit are being conducted by commercial providers. The 4 individuals making their way up to the ISS are the Americans Michael Hopkins, Victor Glover, and Shannon Walker, and experienced Japanese space agency astronaut Soichi Noguchi. Noguchi has become only the 3rd person in history to leave Earth in 3 different types of space vehicles. Iran has responded to Saudi Arabia's call for global action against the country, calling on the kingdom to refrain from baseless allegations and hate-mongering. On Sunday, Saudi Arabia's 84-year-old ruler, King Salman, urged the world to take a decisive stance to address Iran's efforts to develop its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. Saudi Arabia and Iran have been locked in several proxy wars in the region for years. Tensions have grown since outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump in 2018 withdrew from a 2015 Iran nuclear deal with world powers and imposed sanctions on Iran. Saudi Arabia and a number of other Arab states have supported these sanctions. An Israeli ambulance worker caught on camera spitting on portraits of Jesus while visiting a Christian home to carry out a COVID test has been fired. The man spat on 3 pictures in the communal hallway of the block of flats in Tel Aviv. Security camera footage shows the worker removing his mask and overalls before turning around and spitting 3 times in succession. He's then seen putting his mask back on and getting into a lift. When confronted, the medic claimed that in Judaism this is foreign worship. Israel's ambulance service said it strongly condemned his actions. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.